roll call, please. Here.
Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No, sir.
Number 4, approval of the minutes of the meeting of April 10th, 2025.
I recommend approval of the minutes.
And I concur. Bid openings, I don't see any. Number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives. Nothing there. Moving on to correspondence. Correspondence letter A. Correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, requesting the approval of officers Brandon Kerwin and Jesse Hamer to receive ET specialty pay effective April 11th, 2025, and recommending the following applicants be appointed as probationary members of the Hammond Police Department and to serve their 1-year probationary period effective April 17th, 2025. Christian Vasquez, Emmanuel Rene Suarez, Michael Romaine Baxton, and Devontae Arthigo Maps Pitts.
I recommend Chief Short's request.
And I concur. Letter B, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting approval of change order number 2, Kennedy Avenue Road Diet for soil testing of contaminated material in the amount of $16,500, which will be credited to the balance of the credit from change order number 1 submitted for approval.
Good morning to the board.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is part of the specification. The project contractor was to collect contaminated samples to analyze for contaminated soils at locations like the Crane Company up by the Sanitary District Pump Station. I'm trying to think of, there was a few locations. And unfortunately, there was no bid item for that particular action. This is going through NDOT, so it's 80-20 match. We had previously processed change order number 1, which is a credited change order, so this sort of eats into the credit that we have. It's NDOT approved, and so I've reviewed it. I'd ask for your approval.
Okay.
I recommend approval.
And I concur.
Thank you.
Letter C, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting approval of change order number 3, Marble Street reconstruction in the amount of $5,097.60, which funding allocation was approved at previous meeting.
Yeah, last week you approved the funding allocation. I didn't have the change order attached to it. This just balances the quantities. There were some overruns on compacted aggregate and a couple other items, so I'd ask for your approval.
I recommend approval.
And I concur.
Thank you.
Letter D, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting approval of the agreement for professional services with American Structure Point in the amount of $247,400 for the Hammond Downtown Station platform.
Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Wolverton from American Structure Point are here. If there are any questions that I can't answer. This is the proposal. We received 2 proposals for through our regular solicitation that we need to do to follow the federal procurement requirements for consultant selection. The second proposal was for geotechnical services only, so that was not considered or ruled out, shall I say. So Structure Point was the responsive proposer. This is the contract agreement with them to design the platform for the downtown Hammond Station. Funding for this project comes from a grant that we received from the state of Indiana through the Northwest Indiana Forum, commonly referred to as the READY grant for the downtown Hammond Station. So funds are available to approve this agreement, and I'd ask for your approval.
Okay. I don't have any questions, do you?
No, sir.
Thanks, though, John and Eric. Thank you.
I recommend approval.
And I concur.
Thank you.
Moving on to letter E, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting approval for the agreement with Midwestern Electric in the amount of $170,094 for the 2025 traffic signal maintenance agreement, which funding allocation was approved in previous meeting.
Yeah, at the previous meeting, you awarded this contract to Midwestern. We're just bringing the contracts to you at this point, so we're asking for your approval to execute those agreements, or that one agreement multiple times. The funding for this project comes from the general fund allocation of the budget to the Public Works Department. So it's It's a routine annual maintenance contract. It's been quite some time since we've had this renewed, and they have budget for this.
Okay.
Ask for your approval.
I recommend approval.
And I concur. Letter F, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting the approval for the agreements for Northern Indiana Public Service Company to extend gas, electric service to the development for Clark Field at no cost to the city and authorizing the city engineer to electronically sign both agreements.
So this is gas and electric service to be run to Clark Fields subdivision. We have been working with NIPSCO for months, and we finally have an agreement to put gas and electric service to the subdivision. They're electronic agreements, so this is sort of unusual for us. They put it under my name to approve, but so I'd ask the board if they could give me authorization if they agree to this. I've reviewed both contracts and their standard boilerplate agreements with the Northern Indiana Public Service Commission, and so I'd ask for your approval.
So part of the motion needs to be to give you the ability to sign.
Authorization.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, I recommend approval of the agreement plus the authorization to have our city engineer sign it electronically.
Thank you.
And I concur.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Moving on to letter G, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting the approval of change order number 1, Clark Field Infrastructure with Aegis in the amount of $298,369.31 for various items.
Yeah, there's a laundry list of things that they changed. We had to raise the road on Davis because the water main was shallow. We had to bring in additional fill to back the curbs. There were some changes to the infrastructure design that we had to accommodate. Funding for this project is from the funding that's been set aside by the Hammond Common Council through the American Rescue Plan Act funds. That was dedicated for this project. There remains about $230,000 of funds still available, and we have additional work still to be done up there. But so there's funding available for the approval of this change order. I'd ask for your approval.
I recommend approval.
And I concur.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Letter H, correspondence received from Taveria Alexander, 6142 Noble, requesting permission to hold a block party on April 26, 2025, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., blocking off the streets, Ray and Jennings to Noble and Jennings, which is one block, which will not affect residents. She's got a picture of it.
No, okay. I recommend approval.
And I concur. Letter H, correspondence received, I'm sorry, I'm done with that. Moving on to number 8, matters from board members.
I have one, sir.
Okay?
I have a request for Live in the Ville. They're requesting to close Kennedy Avenue from 167th to 169th on June 6th and 7th, from 11 a.m. on June 6th to midnight on June 7th. They're going to have barricades, but they're also requesting 10 barricades from Public Works, and that HPD and EMA will help them close down and reopen.
I know they hire a police officer to stay out there overnight, too, so does anybody have a problem with that? I know they've done it a couple years in a row. Okay.
I recommend approval and forward to barricades, Public Works for barricades.
And I concur.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else, Donnie?
That's it, sir.
Okay, moving on to new business, number 9, letter A, contract for demolition services with JM Industrial Services Incorporated for 1717 through 1723 Summer Street in the amount of $38,000 submitted for approval.
Requested approval. I just wanted to let the board know this money is coming out of CDBG demolition funds from community development.
Okay,
I recommend approval.
and I concur. Letter B, right-of-way permits received from engineering submitted for approval. Looks like there's 4 of them.
Yes, they're not such a big deal. A couple NIPSCO gas repairs, residentials, water service repair, and the other one, the big one, would be NICD closing down Sheffield just south of Goslin for a track repair. We reviewed the detour. It's approximately 2 days, so they have to replace one of the rails. So I would recommend approval.
I was just gonna, yeah.
It is 4/25 to 4/27.
That week, the weekend,
Oh,
yeah.
to the weekend? Okay.
begins Friday night, and I think it ends Sunday.
Will they put up signage? Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
There's going to be a lot of signage.
okay.
okay. I recommend approval.
Thank you.
And I concur. Thanks,
Thank
Mark.
you, Mark.
Letter C, request for rental registration hearing submitted for approval.
May 1st and May 8th?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to set, yeah, May 1st and May 8th, both dates. I recommend it.
Okay, and I concur. Moving on to number 10, old business, letter A, status for 51 Webb.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I know that we want to keep this kind of on a short status. We've got some new photos of the property, if I can share with the board.
Thank you.
Several new photos.
Lots and lots of photos. Okay,
So, what I've found out is that there was a tax sale purchaser that has purchased the property. The redemption period is later this year. However, that doesn't mean we can't, of course, move forward with the demolition. The only issue is that the notice last year did not include the findings in order that were recorded in October did not include notice to the tax sale purchasers. So I need to provide them notice, which I'm planning on doing ASAP. Once we provide them notice, of course, that gives them an opportunity to come and be heard before the board. And then the board can either issue the order of demo again as to the new purchaser or to, or can, I guess, not decide to enter the order of demo, but that's up to them when they get heard. There was at some point a discussion, I guess, with the current owner, which is AAA Group Investors, Inc., with a company called HouseSmart. Does that make sense? HouseSmart that was going to purchase it and rehab it. That apparently, I got an email from a Mr. Sandoval. Does that make sense? Yeah, that indicated that they are not going to go forward and purchase it due to the title issues. So that leaves really the tax sale purchaser that needs to be notified, have a demolition hearing with them noticed, and then go from there. So that's kind of where we're at. I know it's not what the neighbor wants to hear necessarily in the sense that we can't take any action immediately, but we're moving in the direction of being able to take action. So that's my update.
can we provide her with, do you have any idea how long that process will take?
So it's just a matter of notice, publication, posting. Probably would set it for, what's today, April 17th. I bet it would be probably mid to late May where we'd have a hearing. Because I have to give, you got to give at least 14 days notice in the paper. Takes a week to get it up in there, so that's 3 weeks right there, so we're into May.
So we're going to put up with it.
Well, we're going to demolition again, no, demolition order because I don't have notice of the tax sale purchaser. Yeah, we got to restart.
Okay,
So,
To my understanding, the people that already own the property redeemed it during the tax sale, first of all. Second of all, you have my reality with the trash and the condition of the property, which has been stated by me several times. What I'm looking for is a solution right now. Can you guys provide me with a solution for the garbage and securing the property?
Do you have any, where did you find out it was redeemed? Because I didn't show that in the title work I got. And when was it redeemed? And by whom, do you know?
So me and my friends, we were looking for the house on the tax sale around February and March. We didn't see it on the list.
That doesn't mean it was redeemed.
Oh.
It got sold last year
It got sold last year?
on the tax
Okay.
sale. That's probably why you didn't see it. So I just want to make sure that I'm not chasing a ghost by saying it was redeemed. Do you have proof that it was redeemed, or you just thought because it wasn't on the list, it must have been?
No. I went to the county
And they said it was redeemed?
and somebody paid the taxes, yeah.
Okay, I got to check that out. That could delay things. So,
okay, so while we're waiting, I mean, is there anything that anybody can do for cleanup, some kind of cleanup? Is that something we can?
Specifically, the toilet is offensive, okay?
And unfortunately, we will issue, I believe a citation has already been issued. So once we get the court order, permission to get onto properties, and have every intention of cleaning that up.
Okay,
we can do it, look, why don't we think, can we do a 10-day notice, like pink?
We'll do that.
Let's do that. We'll do a pink 10-day notice
okay,
about the trash and debris. and that way we can get on there pretty quickly.
We put a contractor on it, then they'll be cutting it on a regular basis.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
So we'll have our third district, is third Kelly?
Well, I'll take care of that. He's on vacation, sir.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll.
I'll go there
send-
after the meeting.
We'll send somebody out to put a pink notice on the door. That'll give us 10 days. And then why don't we set it for another 2-week status, because that'll keep things moving. And I'll look in that time, I'll look
2
into
weeks,
the redemption issue
May
to
1st?
see what the county's
May
saying.
1st, okay.
May 1st,
Yeah,
sir?
May 1st sounds
Status
good.
for May
I
1st?
think so, that'll keep our, obviously, we want to make sure the neighbor is.
The neighbors.
Neighbors, thank you.
Thank you.
The neighbors. You're the
Yeah.
representative of the neighbors, but the neighbor that shows up and the neighbors that are concerned will continue to be updated.
Yeah, and to address her concern about the house being unsecured, I was by there yesterday afternoon, as noted with those pictures. The front door was standing open, and our board up service did secure the door, and we'll mark it later for no trespassing.
okay.
Because the door they had, they didn't do a very good job securing the door previously, the previous owner.
I just want
Gotcha.
to confirm, was the door secured this morning?
It was secured this morning. They came at the, yesterday evening and
Awesome,
secured
okay,
it.
so at least we know that it's back and secured, which is, I guess,
Okay.
Okay.
So
Do you want these
status
back?
for May 1st?
May 1st, please.
Okay.
And again, I believe you still have my card. If you do see that door open again, send me an email. We'll get the board up, back out there. If we have to do it ourselves, we'll get that reattached.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right, so I think the to-do items are to make sure we do a 10-day
Yeah,
notice,
10-day
we get a
notice.
contractor out of there after 10 days, right? And we'll send it, the letter also has to get sent, right?
Right.
The sticker and the sent in the mail today, right?
Yep.
And that'll give us 10 days, which means on the 10th day, which would be for, I guess it'd be like a week from Monday,
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
that Mr. Kearney can get a crew out there, a contractor, and then hopefully by the Thursday, which will be the 1st, we'll have some.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I recommend code enforcement issuing a 10-day notice and put it on status for May 5th. May 1st.
And I concur. Letter B, status for 918 Willow Court.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this was actually, the order to rescind was approved on April 3rd, so there's no action required on
Yeah, I think this was
property.
a follow-up status, but we rescinded it, so there's no action.
Okay,
Got it.
no action.
And it was rehab, by the way.
Okay.
That's-
Yes,
that's
it
good
is.
news.
Yes.
Okay, number 11, late rental registration hearings. I don't see any. The meeting's now open to the public. Anybody have anything they want to say? Okay,
Chris? Anybody? Okay. I recommend adjournment.
and I concur.